Was so yeah, I seen Turning Red, and yes, I know all the terrible, awful, completely moronic takes that have been seen floating around on Twitter, and from all sides about this movie. And I'm not here to say whether or not they're true or false, but I think that some of those opinions of the movie come from the perspective that people hold from watching it. I mean, I hope they watched it, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. But anyway, Turning Red is a movie about melanin, May, melanin. I think melanin. Yeah, melanin. I'm gonna call her May May. Anyway, we're gonna talk about May May here, who is your typical early 2000s hyperactive, fun-loving, boy-crazy 13-year-old girl who just happens to have a overbearing mother and a very, I don't know, I guess doesn't talk as much father. It's kind of funny because in the first part of the movie, the first half of the film starts out, you hear Mei Mei narrating about how it's important for their family to honor one's parents. And it's the only thing you gotta do in return for it is to do everything that they ask for, which is obviously the focal point of the movie. I mean, we're shown that like right at the beginning. Like you get to see all these photos of them together, and it's very obvious that the mom has a hold of her life and what she does. Which is funny because she kind of acts like in the beginning that she has her own life. She does what she wants. She has the choice to do these things. She makes her own decisions, but in reality, she's really keeping a second part of her covered up, away from her, like mostly mom, and like not talking about what she really does at school, which is acting the fool, really annoying, super weird, typical girl stuff, hanging out with weird friends and all that. Typical girl stuff, all that. She's not good at sports, obviously. She likes her boy bands and all that with her and her friends. I'm trying to get a shot, but yeah. But yeah, they kind of hang out together a little bit after school. Not much. She kind of has to run a little, what you call it, I guess you could say a museum with her mom, showing their family history and how Chinese culture typically works when honoring one's family and such. And again, Mei Mei thinks that she can live this type of double life, this type of double standard, because her mom thinks that she's a grade A student. She's like nice and small, and she can do whatever she tells her, and she's gonna be keeping up the family honor and all that, not being a delinquent like her friends. At least that's what she believes they are. But eventually, this doesn't work out. Eventually, Mei Mei can't keep this little double life continuing. She messes up and started drawing, I guess, some type of fan art or whatever about the boy they find in the store. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's very weird. I had never seen this done before, but hey. And she draws a little fan art of the boy that she liked. No, I wouldn't even say she even likes. She's more like just a, puppy love. Nothing deep, short and sweet. Oh, this is just her keeping up the little museum she has with her mom, little temple. That's how they kind of make their living, showing it off to tourists and such in Toronto. Forgot to mention this is Toronto, so yeah. and you get to see the dad here. He's the cook of the house. Yeah, he's the cook of the house. He's helping out family in that way. We don't really see exactly what he does. I mean, I don't think he's a stay-at-home dad, but yeah, it's kind of weird. We never really see much of the dad in the movie. Like, we don't really see what he does. We can only assume that T just comes home from work and helps out now and then. But yeah, she draws her little fan art with her and the convenience store guy. And then it takes a weird turn to where she's just drawing more and more and more under her bed and start getting a little heated, I guess. It's just a word I didn't think I would say. And the mom eventually finds out and makes makes that face there. And then it takes a turn even more left that I don't even think I would even think. I honestly thought what happened in the next few scenes was just a weird nightmare scene or something. Because she goes to the store, she yells at the boy, who's like freaking 17, acts like she's actually doing the things which which Mei Mei draws in her little notebook, and tells him off, threatening, "Hey, what are you doing here? What are you doing with my daughter? You weirdo, you sicko." He's like, I'm 17. Who's your daughter? And she points at her. The bully points at her like, "Oh yeah, that's her." And eventually everyone sees she slams all of the freaking drawings on the desk so everyone can see. Keep in mind, this is all real. Apparently, this isn't a dream. This isn't a nightmare scenario. This is all real. So I'm like, what is happening here? Is this real? Are you serious? Are you serial? And she just says the most caring thing I ever heard in my life, saying, "You just lost a customer. You have lost a customer. I will never shop here at this convenience store ever again." I'm like, what? You even come here often. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, this whole thing is real. She actually did this. That's crazy. So yeah, that happens. Mei Mei kind of forces a smile and says, "Oh yeah, everything's fine. Yep, everything's fine." And she goes in her room. She goes, typically crying, all that. Eventually goes to sleep. She has a weird dream, which I can only assume would mean she is changing. She eventually turns into the infamous panda bear-ish thing monster. I say ish thing because I know what red pandas look like, and even if you're trying to make like a little Disney version, I wouldn't think it would be like this, like at all. I mean, I guess it's cute. I guess. I mean, I gift this to like a niece or something. I wouldn't take them to see the movie. You'll find out why. But that's nice. Eventually, she starts freaking out naturally because she becomes a red panda. The mom hears this, and the father hears this. Like, oh no, what's going on? And eventually, she's like, oh no, is it that? Is it time? And I like the joke at first. It's pretty good, but eventually it got a little bit too far, which to the point where I say, yeah, I wouldn't really take my kids to see this. I wouldn't really take my niece to see something like this. No, I wouldn't do that. But eventually, they keep playing the joke up. They keep talking about, your body's going through changes and all that. They keep doing the joke. Yeah. Somehow she escapes without the mother noticing, and she finds out that she needs to keep calm in order to change back. She can't be overly excited. So Again, the mom has no idea that she apparently can turn into a red panda, which is kind of weird because apparently this is something that does run down the family more exclusively towards the females. So again, I don't know how she wouldn't have thought this would be what would happen. I mean, all right, she would have thought that she would have got something else happening rather than turning into a red panda. Even though she said herself, it was, oh, you're too young for that, aren't you? I would have thought, okay, well, obviously that's not it. If I was the dad, I would be like, that's not it. But anyway, we're shown that she go back to school the next day, and everyone knows that she, because this is the bully year, and he posted all the pics of her little fan art drawings all around school somehow. We don't know how. I'm assuming he's just rich, and somehow that means he's able to do that somehow. Maybe he has a printer. Maybe he has an XL, like S-Spawn printer or something. I don't know. And then, yeah, she's just having a little trouble controlling it. But everything seems going fine. She seems to be pretty level-headed. Friends are gonna cool down. I mean, she does grow a tail after seeing all that, but she's relatively fine. She's relatively fine. She's doing a good job. But eventually, her friend kind of worried for her, saying, "Hey, everything all right after all that? The whole convenience store stuff?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." But eventually, that doesn't work for long because her mom shows up to the school. She's hiding behind trees, and the security officer, he has to ask, like, "Ma'am, why are you here? Why this is a school playground here. You can't be here. You gotta leave. You can't be here. You can't be here, lady. Don't do this. Okay? You gotta get out. Sorry." And she's like, "Oh my god, my mom is good." And she's all here acting freaking crazy, just yelling, "Mei Ling, please tell them you know me." I'm like, what? It's funny. But eventually she does something. I wish I could show it. But for some reason the mom thought it was a good idea to place she pulls out tabs, no, her pads, and I think she actually places it on the window. Like, I got pads for you, Mei Ling. Like, oh my god. And that eventually got her to, you know, rage out, turn into a complete panda bear, complete red panda mode. And she just runs away crying, goes to the bathroom. One kid in Uggs, Jesus, that was a time, in Uggs was about to scream and all that. She's like, "Oh nope, go away." She runs away out the window, and the mom sees this. Apparently she knows about this. We kind of come to find out she knows what this is. She causes a whole bunch of destruction around the city, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Again, kind of weird stuff going along in between, like coming past the convenience store and seeing the boy, you know, doing convenience store stuff with the face of a natural convenience store employee. And she goes a little, I'm not gonna make the sound, but she does something that I honestly never would have thought I would hear in a long time. Again, this movie gets very heated at times. I'm like, okay. And eventually we go back to her little temple. The mom catches up, finds her crying in the bed, you know, due to being a red panda and her shoving pads in front of kids' faces. That's nice. The dad finds out too, and it's more like they had to explain to her that this is something that happens to all the females because of their ancient ancestor who used the power of the gods to become a red panda to defend her children and family while the men were at war. which worked out pretty well somehow, I guess. I don't know how that worked, but I mean, you're going against bandits and marauders and all that, and you're being a big red panda bear or something. I guess that would work. Who knows? I wouldn't think that would work, but I guess it would work. They showed in the movie that you can do a whole bunch of stuff as a red panda. So yeah, she gets kind of ticked off at this because, you know, who the heck, why the heck would you not tell her this in the beginning? Understandably. Eventually, she kind of learns to control it in a way, and they explain that there is a ritual that can be done to fix it. Only problem is, it's like a month away. And, well, she's kind of upset, like, oh, I can't do this for a month. I can't be some monster freak for like a month. And I was like, hey, don't worry, I went through it too. Eventually, you can go through ritual, you know, store all the powers in a little trinket. She shows her little talisman on the right there on her necklace. She stored hers in her necklace. It doesn't say exactly anything specific, just a trinket, any trinket, I guess. But they had to keep it on them, which is weird. Because if it breaks, you know, boom, back to red panda mode. So yeah, eventually she hears the mom saying, oh my gosh, she's like a freaking huge bear, panda bear thing, and I never thought I would have to deal with this now. Did you see her? Did you see the freaking temple? She wrecked the place. Understandably, she gets upset about that, hearing that. Well, the husband is kind of strangely, I wouldn't say calm. He's very reassuring. He's very like, hey, everything's gonna be okay. We're gonna work through this. It's gonna be fine. I guess she didn't hear that, which is interesting because you notice that Mei Mei kind of values her mother a little bit more than the father in a way. I wouldn't say, oh, we don't value the father out, but just that she cares more about her mother's opinion. Definitely a lot more. And eventually, she kind of finds out a way through her friends to control her power. She finds out that if she thinks of her friends, it's a lot easier to control her abilities. And they were actually all for it. They think the whole panda thing's cool. They think it's fluffy and all that, which is weird because they kind of say she stinks like she kind of smelled like a second ago, you know, because of all the fur and all that. Ew. But yeah, they kind of accepted it and think it was kind of cool, and all their weirdness is, which is, it makes sense because they're all weird. I mean, look at them. To be honest, I have no clue what their names are because I'm gonna be honest, I wouldn't remember. I have no clue their names, but that's a tangent. They don't really, at least I don't really remember them. I just watched the movie like a few minutes ago. I have no clue what their names are. We just call them orange, green, and purple. Yeah, orange, green, and purple here. We're reassuring her, saying, "Hey, you got this. We can find a way, and it'll work out." And eventually, yeah, they're like, "Yeah, we can do this." And again, she finds a way how to control her powers by thinking about them. And then they told her, like, hey, the little concert we're going to, this is a little boy band that we're all gushing for, something for. I was gonna say C for, but no, because they're the bomb, right? No, no, four something, four boys, five something. I don't know. The little boy band concert is coming this next month, I believe, and they want to go see it because hey, they're like, hey, we can control it because you'll be with us. And she's like, no, my mother's never gonna let me do that. I mean, going to school and walking outside is one thing, but going to a concert, no way. Which after her mom does the, I guess, excitement test, which is I guess trying to rile her emotions up, she says, yeah, no, you're not going. Even though she passes it by thinking of her friends and keeping calm, I suppose, she still says, no, you're not going to a concert. It's also interesting in the scene because when she tells her how she does it by thinking about her friends, she instead says, I do it by thinking about, well, the ones I love and saying, my family. I think it was her family. That's what she said. But yeah. Anyway, she says that. Mom gets happy. She kind of gets a little bit of doubt and regret in saying that because she know good and well that's not what she meant. She meant her friends. Got told a little lie there. And she got rejected and put down about the whole concert thing. She kind of goes a little, typical little preteen. Well, I guess she's 13. 13 eye roll and can't believe I had to do all this stuff. Did all this stuff for nothing. And the mom was like, "Where did she get this from?" And the husband tried to tell her, "Oh, kind of from you." But before he can really say anything, the guy gets interrupted. This happens a lot, surprisingly. Uh, Again, I think the dad's the best character in this movie. I don't think I said that. I think he's the best character. She gets a call from her mom and her extended family. I'm guessing all the women are gonna come down and help out with the ritual. And the mom's afraid of that. She's like, "Oh no, you don't have to do that. I'm doing fine." And the mom's like, "Really? I mean, not really. You're doing that good because I see her all over the social media." This is like the 2000s, so I wonder how exactly she was able to see that. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, she kind of got all scared about that, and the dad's like, "Meh, well, all right." And the next day after that, they playing some dodgeball and all that. They're kind of getting worried, like, "Oh man, how are we gonna get over there?" I mean, it costs like $200 each. Like, geez, I had no, like $200. It's not even $200. It's 200 Canadian money. I was gonna say Canadian money. No, it's 200 Canucks, 200 Canadian dollars. For them, that's like that's their whole world, and they're struggling to find a way to how to do that. Eventually, she kind of chimps out and throws a crazy fastball at the bully. I think his name, sheesh, I can't remember his name. His name is something I remember, but I can't put my finger on it. And so after that, she kind of gets sent over. Well, not sent over. She just, got taken out of the match. Her friends follow her after she kind of got a little bit of minor pandaing. And the girls who saw that, the ones before, I don't know, those two, they saw that and they're like, "What the heck? You can actually turn to a panda?" And they're like, "Wow, that's actually pretty cool." Which I honestly think would be kind of realistic for this movie. Everyone seems to actually like it. In fact, that seems to be a whole thing. All the other kids are like, "Whoa, this is actually pretty cool, dude. This is actually pretty cool." And then they found out, hey, we can make money off this. Little entrepreneurs get the goal of 800 Canuck dollars. 800. Like, wow. Jeez. So they're making merchandise. They're making plans. They're saying, "Oh, what we're doing after school is doing a math club." They're lying to their parents about making a math club so they can go and sell the panda merch, make the big monies. Of course, the bully got the heck no Tylers. That's his name, Tyler. No Tylers allowed, and that type of stuff. They eventually actually make a lot to the point where they almost are at their goal. They're just missing 200 more. And I think at that point, they're kind of wondering, well, what the heck are we gonna do now? There's only like a week left. I think it's a week left. We don't have enough money. And there's a scene where they're like, all the girls are gushing over boys, and they're like, "Hey," in mailings, and it's just like, "Come on, we gotta focus. We gotta get focused. We gotta do our stuff. You don't have enough time." But eventually, Tyler here was talking to him like, "Hey, you come to my party. I know everyone's gonna be there. If you're there, I'll pay you $200, 200 Canuck dollars, if you could come there and do your whole little panda thing." And she's like, All right, sure, I'll do that. Trying to make the money. Only thing is, that is the day where all of her extended family come. I believe that is the day that's all of her extended family come over. The day she's supposed to be at the party, but that's a little bit further on. Before that, the mom wanted to go and see the whole math club herself because what parent wouldn't get curious about it, right? You want to come over, but eventually Mei says, yeah, "Alright, the reality is," she tried to make a little excuses like, "Oh, you wouldn't like it. I don't think you would uh, keep up or all that stuff." But eventually, she kind of says she just doesn't want her mom to be there. She doesn't want her to be there. And she's like, "Oh, dang." Before they can even really talk more about that, the extended family arrives. And again, the ritual is supposed to be on the date of the concert. First, the family arrives a little bit before that. They're here to talk about, hey, and it's a surprise that you're so good at actually controlling it. The great, well, not the great grandma, but just the grandma. She's so surprised. Oh wow, you're actually good. Your mother Ming wasn't really as good controlling her panda. Which is weird because they explain it. The way they talk about the panda from the extended family side is like it's a curse, which is what Ming was trying to convince her, daughter here, Mei Ling, that it wasn't a curse. It's just an inconvenience. It was a blessing for her ancestors, for their ancestors. It was a blessing. But it's interesting that the grandma doesn't feel that way really about it. We'll go about that later. Anyway, the grandma gets suspicious, saying, "Hey, really? Are you sure you're actually in control here? Because I find a lot of the panda hair around. Doesn't seem like this. You're actually controlling it, and you're not turning into the panda as much." I'm like, "No, I'm good." And then that was that. Because the grandma was like, "Yeah, really? Well, okay. Just remember, your mother really is looking, really putting all of her hope in you. Better not just waste that." And eventually, she does get to the party a little bit late. She kind of makes the decision due to, the grandma's warning of not turning into the panda as much. She kind of makes the decision to, go as a little fake panda that they had in the shop or temple, museum, whatever you call it. You do all that. She kind of realizes, yeah, maybe I can do it one more time. Because her friends are like, "What's going on? You don't have to do this if you don't want to." And she's like, "You know what? Maybe one more time." They do it one more time. She does her panda thing. She gives rides and all that. The mom's like, "Oh, she's all nice and good." Turns out she used a little lumpy lumpy cover trick. Eventually, she finds out, oh, that's not actually her. Where the heck is she? Finds out all of her stuff under the bed. Like, oh no, she's gone. She's getting bad grades, getting C's and D's, making merch. He goes to the concert. He apparently left a flyer for the party under there. I don't know how or why. Hey, she's just a kid. And then they're all reminiscing over here on top of the bully Tyler's house. He's not really a bully. I guess you can just say he's just a kid. He's just a rich kid. They're all gonna say, reminiscing of all the good times they have and what good times they're gonna have. Until they realize, oh no, it turns out the concert is actually on the day of the red moon or the ritual night, and she's like, "Ooh, I can't even go." And she gets upset. Tyler over here acting like a butt, saying, "Hey, you need to give us more rides, otherwise I won't give you your $200." She she kind of apes instead of being a panda, she kind of apes out and freaking roughs the heck out of Tyler. I was like, whoa, I didn't think she would actually do that. I would have thought the mom would stop her in time or something. But yeah, it's too late. Tyler got roughed up. Parents got mad. Mom was there a little bit too late. And like she gets yelled at and all that. Mom's mad, blames her friends for being a bad influence on her. Mailing doesn't say anything really, and kind of leaves him out the dry. Like, geez, kind of left him out in the open there, which is understandable because in the movie, I don't really say like she hates her mom. It's not like she hates her mom. She just thinks she's overbearing, which she is. She's a bit of a Karen too. She's a bit of a huge Karen. Definitely a Karen, which makes sense when you learn about her past more on, because Ming, the mom, had the same type of mother, which is a grandma. The only thing is, you'll learn later, she lashed out at the grandma, which is why she has the scar on her face, and that's how she got hurt. Which I'm gonna have to say is kind of weird, given given what you know about Ming later on in the movie. But yeah, the dad finds out about whole friends things, but he finds out through the recorder of the camera. It's like he's all he sees is that his daughter is having fun with friends. He never seen her so happy before. It was a good long, his first time in a good long while that he laughed. And he's kind of telling his daughter that, hey, you may think that this stuff may be dumb now, but I think that it's pretty funny. That not like ha 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 loser stuff, but it's like kids, that funny. And he thinks that she should do whatever she feels that she should do, and not have to fear of letting anyone down or rejection from the family, because she's like, no matter what you do, you're always family. And eventually, during the ritual, she kind of decides. They make their little portal thing during the ritual, and they're doing the whole little chanting and all that. And eventually, during the ritual, when she's sent to the spirit realm and all that, she sees ancient ancestor. I don't know why I can't get that, but that's supposed to be the ancestor. Oh, there she was. There she is. Ancestor makes her decision that, hey, you can make the decision here. You choose to get rid of the panda from your body. She walks through the little portal thing, and the panda's getting taken out. But eventually, she decided, yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it. And eventually, the mom and all the other families are like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you keeping the panda? She's like, no, I'm gonna go to the concert. This gets the mom kind of heartbroken. She kind of becomes a little bit mad, a bit mad. Breaks the talisman a bit. She didn't break it directly, but it kind of got broken through the whole explosion that happened when she chose to keep the panda. And she kind of, she also ate. She kind of chimps out too. And eventually, we go back to Mei Ling. She's traveling along the skyline, no, not skyline, but traveling on the buildings using her panda powers, just pooping back and forth. It's a weird little poop effect. I don't really get how it works. And she eventually makes it over there. She jumps through the through the stadium gate, like not the gate, but the stadium dome. I don't know how she survives it, but again, no idea how these powers work. and she makes it to her friends. They eventually make up, real that even though they're like a little stung by what happened, they still love her, still friends. For some reason, Tyler's there too. He also likes the boy band. I don't know why. They're called Four Town. Oh wow, I had no. Wow, they're called Four Town. Wow. Anyway, they see Four Town. They do a little song and all that. They're like, oh my god, it's a bunch of boy bands. Even though there's 5 of them, they're called Four Town. It's crazy. Eventually, the dad makes it there, but not before. Like the dad's extended family make it there, but not before the mom just absolutely goes crazy. It's revealed that her panda form is like a freaking kaiju. It's like a gigantic red panda. I don't even think you can call these things red pandas. I mean, seriously, is this supposed to be a red panda? Are you supposed to tell me that this is a red panda? Like, really? It's crazy. And anyway, in the mom in her rage form is like, oh, I told you you should have never been hanging out with these people. Why are you acting this way? This is totally not like you. And eventually Mei Ling like, well, you don't know this far side of me. I like to do all this stuff. I like to watch boy bands. I like to hang out with friends. I like to gyrate, which is a very weird thing to say. Don't really get that. It's a weird thing to say in this conversation. I thought this was a serious conversation, but never mind. She eventually guys tries to distract her while the other family members just make the circle and hopefully get the ritual started again so they can turn her back a little bit more. The friends go to get the boy band to maybe help out with the singing part. I don't know how they knew that. I mean, I think they saw that they were trying to sing, but they said the old guy who was doing the you know taking away the panda part of the ritual was like, oh, you guys need to sing louder. So I guess they got the idea of getting the boy band to help. Anyway, back to Mei Ling and the mom. They're over there, I say, tussling with each other. Mei Ling somehow knocks the mom down. I guess makes sense. I guess. I don't know. The mom gets knocked out. Mei Ling tries to pull her back into the circle because she's kind of out of the circle. Then all the other family members decided, oh, we're all gonna help. And that's good. And that's great. That's nice. They eventually pull her back in, and they continue the ritual on with the boy band and the friends helping. They get sent to the spirit world where Mei Ling gets to see a young Ming, and she explains that she felt terrible due to the fact that she hurt her mom. Again, I don't know how the heck the the grandma's not dead or something. Like, how with how big she is, I don't know how she's not dead from taking a scratch like that. Like, imagine a big old scratch like that from a gigantic panda bear thing, red panda bear thing. Like, geez, I get ragdolled. I get ragdolled across the room. I wouldn't even ragdoll. She probably just stomped me. It's crazy. But yeah, she explains all that, and she explains like, oh, I can never be the person my mom wants me to be. I'm never gonna make it up. I'm never gonna be what she basically aspires that I think I should be. And eventually, Mei Ling's like, you don't have to. You don't have to do that because she loves you either way. Which that's what the father was kind of saying there. He loves her either way. The mom will love her either way. Like, even though the grandma and them kind of felt, because they fell apart in a way, they still love each other still, and that's nice. Eventually, Mei Ling and mom go back to the where the ancestors keeping the mirror that turns them back normal, and the mom sees Ming, Mei Ling's mom, and they hug, kind of reconcile with each other, saying, "Hey, just because I didn't think you lived up to the expectation I had for you doesn't mean I don't love you," and all that. And they kind of make up. Eventually, They all go back. The mom was kind of scared, wanting her daughter to go back normal with her. And the daughter's like, no, I want to explore this new path. And she's only scared that they'll grow distant from each other. And the mom's like, yeah, I'm scared about that too. They still love each other, so it's gonna work out just fine. Anyway, the ancestor was watching all the whole time, which is weird because they never really talk about or even talk to the ancestor in the movie. And that's what I find very weird. They never actually talk to her. You got all the answers right here. You can even ask her questions like, hey, which is what Mei-Ling did. She asked her like, hey, am I going to regret this? Instead of saying anything, she just takes her up into the air with her flying panda form. They boop noses. I don't know if that's some type of communication or something. I don't know. And that was that. Everything's back to normal in a way. The mom kept her little thing in the little what you call them. I have no idea what they are. I'll put them on screen. The little whatchamacallits. Everyone's back to normal. They got their little family business, making lots of money. Everyone's happy. Even the dad's participating in the museum / temple / gift shop place. Everyone's doing fine. For some reason, she's a furry now. I don't know. She's just a furry. She's hanging out with all the friends, including Tyler. Sheesh. If I was Tyler, sheesh. I don't. I wouldn't be messing with her. She roughed you up, dude. I mean, all right. I guess the shared love of a boy band can shine through anything. But yeah, the mom is happy for her. She got her friends. I'm guessing she's maybe not getting as good grades as she should before, but I guess she was making C's and D's. Hopefully she's like the B's and C's now. But yeah, she's happy. She got her friends. Happy with her mom. They're getting a lot of money. Of course, they're gonna have to make a lot more to pay back the city so they can fix the dome again. I think they owed. I wish I had a. I don't think I can make it, but they had to pay like a whopping $1 million Canuck dollars. And I'm like, geez, you're never gonna pay that off. You're never gonna pay that off. Maybe you could get Mei-Ling to give her body to science or something. I don't know. Maybe they can do that. But yeah, that's pretty much Turning Red. It's a nice little story, I suppose, about young teen finding their way in life. Again, don't listen to all the Twitter BS and all that. It's a pretty good movie, I'd say. It's nice, it's sweet. Again, I don't think this movie particularly I would show a niece or anything like that personally. People like to think that, oh, this movie's not made for adults or anything like that. Are you sure? Because there's a lot of scenes in here that I'm like, this definitely isn't made for kids. I'd say I wouldn't take my niece to see something like this. I wouldn't really do that, especially if I know now that they have little jokes about that time of the month, showing pads. A gyrating panda booty is still gyrating. Yeah, I'm just gonna accept that. I'm just gonna end that with ill. It's still kind of ill. Don't want to see that personally. And I know the whole criticism about the whole, oh, it's super cringe, dude. You don't want to watch that. I'm like, dude, it's like when they're 13. I understand. Well, for one thing, when I was 13, I wasn't that cringe. Definitely. Definitely not. I would have thought it would make more sense to go more with, instead of going with the whole weird aspect, because apparently people are saying that I think the writer or the director is based on his first own experience or something like that. I would have to say, like, if that's the case, I don't think kids are like that, like, at all. Not really. And even if this was for kids in that age range, like 13, 14, 15, I got a younger brother. He's like, I didn't see any of them trying to watch this movie either. So I don't really believe that argument. I just say this is just a nice new Disney movie. It's I'd say it's for people that are nostalgic for the early 2000s, if anything. That's who this movie is for. It's not for kids, I wouldn't say. It's definitely gonna appeal to furries, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to say. That it's a good movie. I would kind of maybe see it again. It got some interesting soundtrack. Again, that kind of actually goes towards the fact that I was saying this isn't really for kids. It's just for people who are nostalgic for the time. But again, if I had to rate this movie, I would probably rate it I'd probably give it a 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5. It wasn't something that wowed me, nor was it something that just, oh my god, this is so terrible that I would never see it again. Oh, this is pure trash. No, I'm not gonna say that. It's not that, but it's not something I would say I'm definitely gonna watch this again either. So yeah, that's just that. I think that people have put way too much high expectations on the movie than it should be. I don't think it's something high, nor do I think it's something low. It's just straight dab in the middle. I know people don't like the animated style of the movie. That can definitely put a lot of people off. And it definitely can put a lot of kids off too. Because it looks like the freaking, what was it, the Grubhub animations you see in their commercials? It looks like that. It doesn't have a lot of weight into it. Like things just are just flowing. They're like zippity zappity zoo. People just move too quickly sometimes. It's like, oh, that doesn't look good. I'm not saying that's like a technical fault, but I'm just saying it just doesn't look good. But yeah, that was my little review of Turning Red. I'd like to think that my score was pretty good, but hey, what do you think? What do you think the whole format I'm going to be doing for reviewing movies? I like to think this way is a lot better. It's a lot more raw, more raw, and definitely something I think I can improve on. So yeah, tell me what you think, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.